Okay, so if you read the title of today's video, then you know I am doing a 10-minute natural makeup tutorial. Basically, this is the makeup I do on myself when I want to wear makeup and I want to just look more refreshed than I do when I'm waking up in the morning. But I don't feel like putting even 30 minutes or an hour into doing what I would call my everyday makeup look, which I did do a tutorial on how I do my everyday makeup look. I will put that in the description box. But yeah, this is just the makeup I do when I'm on the go, I don't have time, or I'm being lazy, but I still want to wear makeup. So first off, primer. I use this primer and I really like this primer because it has sunscreen in it, and I swear, like, it doesn't smell like sunscreen. I will say it is a bit oily, not too oily in my opinion, but that's because I'm okay with the oil, especially because I put powder on top of my face in some areas, so I feel like having the oil kind of helps to soak up some of that powder. But yeah, I love this because I want to put sunscreen on my face all the time, but I genuinely do not like the smell of sunscreen, so finding it in my primer just is a win-win for me. I would just recommend when it comes to this primer not to overdo it. One time I accidentally put too much on my hands to the point where I was like rubbing it into my face, and because again it has oil in it, I noticed that my makeup wasn't sitting correctly, or my skin tint that I'm going to put on top of this. The oil in the primer was messing it up, so you just don't want to do too much. I think like a dime size honestly goes a long way. Next up, I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty skin tint. I only put this much on my hand, no joke, that much, and I'm able to do every part of my face that I want to do. And honestly, I'm not doing it to cover my face. I know some people like to rub it in. I prefer to like centralize it. So the first place I start by putting it is under my eyes, just because I feel like it makes me look more awake when I put it under my eyes. Like, look at that difference already. Look at it. She's just more awake. Second, I put it right here on my nose, simply because that is where I like have a bit of redness. It's not like highly noticeable, but I notice it, so I just put it right here on my nose, just in this area. See, like, it's not much of a difference, but I just do it. And the trick with this tutorial, because you're doing it on the go, and to be honest, you're not using like a setting spray, you're using a setting powder, but not all over your face. You want to avoid putting the skin tint like in your creases right here, especially right here, because if you smile a lot like I do over the time during the day because you haven't used setting powder, or even if you do use setting powder, I've noticed it just starts to crease. So to avoid creasing, we avoid putting makeup there. And then next, I just simply put the makeup on my dark marks or discoloration on my cheeks. I'm so sorry, my mom decided to start vacuuming. But like I was saying, I just basically, this is a freckle and this is a dark mark, so I would just put it on this dark mark right here. This is also a dark mark, but because of where it is and how dark it is, I don't cover it anymore because it just ends up showing through. So I'm gonna act like it's a freckle because I already got a freckle right there, so it's a freckle from until it heals. But yeah, I just cover any like redness, any of my like faded dark marks, honestly. None of my like ones that are just too dark to cover with the skin tint. And again, as I'm doing this, I'm making sure to never put the skin tint in my smile lines. Then my next step is to, I don't even want to show you my powder palette because I need a new one. It's so barren. But I take some powder. Normally I use my powder thing, but I actually washed it not long before filming this video, so it's still wet. So I'm just using my hand, but normally I'd use this and I powder right under my eyes like that. So that's what I'm gonna do, except I'm just gonna do it with my hands. I also put it where I put the skin tint on my nose. And this is a trick I learned by accident. After you put the powder down, I put a bit more skin tint on top of the powder, just like a little bit. I learned this because I had accidentally over powdered, and I was like, let me just put the skin tint on top, because I was doing my makeup in the car and I did not have time to, you know, redo it. So I just put more skin tint on top of the powder, and that completely fixed the issue. So now that's what I do. And then the next step is mascara. I first prime my eyelashes with a clear mascara. As you can see, it's kind of darkened simply because of my like eyeliner I normally use. It sometimes gets on my lashes when I'm applying my eyeliner, and then it just gets in here, but this is a clear mascara. And so I just prime my lashes with it. I find when I do prime my lashes with it, I don't get like fallout of my mascara onto my face. Then next, I put on a regular black mascara. This is a new one that I'm trying, but all black mascaras are black mascaras. And then I'm gonna be honest with you, I normally do this step before I do my mascara, but I just forgot, so now we're doing it after my mascara. I put on blush. This is a jelly tint blush, so that's why it looks different, but I put this on and I just rub it in the spots where I like to do my blush, which is on my nose and then like this on my cheeks. One reason I like this is because it is very subtle and then you can build it to make it more pigmented. Also on days where when I'm doing looks like this where I'm not mattifying my face, I feel like it still blends in quite well because it looks more of like a natural blush in my opinion. Apologies for the audio discrepancy. I had to switch to my mic so that my mom could get back to vacuuming like she wanted to do. So first step when it comes to my lip look, I just accentuate the fact that I have naturally two-tone lips. I say that in every tutorial, but when I'm doing more of a natural look like this, I actually do it in a different way than I would if I was doing my full makeup. So first I start with the lip liner. This is the NYX Espresso. I hear a lot of people talk about this. I didn't know it was a hot commodity. I just knew it was a color that worked on me. So first thing I do, of course, is line my lips. Then I actually go in with a lip. This is supposed to be a lip tint. I got it from Bath and Body Works, but it honestly is almost like a lipstick, but I put it on this part of my bottom lip for this very reason, and I will show you. I have this right here, so I take this and then I honestly use this to kind of fan out this color, and you'll see like how it looks trust the process, but it looks good. See, it kind of just gives my lips more of a cherry in that area than a pale pink. And then I go in with this one, which is a bit darker and it has like a brown tint to it already. And then I line my top lip and then the rest of my bottom lip. And then sometimes when I feel like this amount of shine is still a bit mute, I go in with another gloss I got from Bath and Body Works and I just put a slightly bit more gloss on top of it. This is also a bit more oily than the other two, so it makes my lips a bit smoother in my opinion. Also, what I find with this lip look is throughout the day, though it fades, I honestly do not have to reapply it unless I want it to be as pigmented as it is now. I will normally just simply go in with this lip gloss on top of it throughout the day and it just becomes more subtle, but it still works with the look. Now I'm gonna do my hair, which I know my hair looks like it's already done, but I wasn't styling my hair like this. I was just pulling it back and that'll practically be the end of the tutorial, so I will be right back. Okay, so it's not that much of a difference. I just pulled down some pieces and I put the rest of my hair up with my butterfly clip. But yeah, that's the tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more of me. I try to post every Wednesday. I hope you have a good weekend, weekday, weeknight, and bye!